Disclaimer. The opinions expressed by contributors during radio call-in shows are solely those of the individual callers and do not reflect the opinions of Zimnet Radio, DJs, presenters, managers or administration. Listeners are encouraged and advised to seek the services of qualified professionals for their personal problems.
In touch with the best online station, Zimnet Radio.
Make the whole world know about your business. Advertise with Zimnet Radio. Email marketing@zimnetradio.com. You're listening to Zimbabwe's finest radio station, broadcasting worldwide. Zimnet Radio, the people's choice.
Join DJ Sodza and his informative team live every Thursday at 9 p.m. UK time, discussing Zimbabwean politics.
It is a Thursday, and you know what that means. It's a men's corner show with yours truly, DJ Sodza.
Hold on, guys. Right, okay, today, so thank you so much, Zimbabwe, for that. So to see confusion ne system yangu panapa. Welcome to the Men's Corner show, and may I also take this opportunity to welcome those that are just tuning in for the very first time on the show. This is the Men's Corner show, where we discuss a lot of issues that are happening in Zimbabwe. Politics Zimbabwe in the next 2 months, in fact a month and a half, to try and get to the finishing line. Election it comes to 30 July. Now we are hearing that the final list of the nominations has been published, and we've got a list of those people that are going to contest for the post of the president of Zimbabwe. But before I go any further, let me say condolences kune vatinofamba nawo pano pachirongwa Chief Sodza washaikirwa neshamwari yawo kuAmerica uko, and I know that he was a close friend of him, and unfortunately I think the funeral is there today, and he's right there at the moment. He's saying maybe he might turn up for a few minutes, but if I was you, Chief Sodza, unless you really want to come on, you don't have to today. Kwanziko, yes, wafirwa neshamwari yawo. So condolences to you there. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is, if you remember, guys, we interviewed some aspiring candidates here. Comrade Richard Kanyangu, if you remember him, he sent me a message today saying that DJ, we couldn't have contest at all, because unfortunately when you go to Zimbabwe on the ground, he said that it is like a lion's den there, very, very difficult indeed, and he has worked out that really it is better for him to contest as an MP rather than contest for the top job. But ndataura na Nkosana Moyo, he's saying that he's very, very happy. He's in there, and he's going to contest. And also I spoke to Reverend Evaristo Chikanga, if you remember him. Yes, you remember him, Sally. He said he has he's going to contest this time, because he has filed his papers and his name is on the list. So we wish them luck. We'll see how they get on. But sending these messages to some people in Zimbabwe, they are very disappointed, saying that some of the people that are on that list are just time wasters. They're just there to distract things and all that. But one thing that intrigued me was that, reading the whole list, it looks like Thokozani Kupe is actually representing MDCT, and Nelson Chamisa is representing MDC Alliance. Now some people were asking, what does this mean? Does it really mean that really Thokozani Kupe is the legitimate successor to Morgan Tsvangirai or not. Vamwarukutanzi, it doesn't matter. But Vamwarukuti, she has proved a point there. I don't know what the panel would want to say about that. But the next thing is wearing my elections, anonzi arikomuswa 30 July. But you might not see the results for 5 days. Now, is that how it should be? Is that how elections should be? They should be announced on the day, latest the following day. None other than that. Why do you have to wait for 5 days to announce an election result? I don't know what you guys think about that. Let me welcome those on the panel tonight. Starting with you, Sally. There, we missed you last week. Welcome to the show.
Hi, DJ Sodza. Good evening, everybody. Hello, my sweetheart Titch. You look beautiful leaning against the wall. Hi, Elliot. Hi, Wilbert. Hi, Benford. Hi, Rosie. And hello, Zimbabweans, wherever you are. If you're in Cape Town, I hope that you're keeping dry and warm. It is freezing and wet.
Thank you so much, Sally, for that. May I also congratulate you on that note. I saw a list of people that were nominated top jobs in the MDC alliance there.
Thank you, DJ Sodza. Yes, I think the congratulations are in order in terms of the appointments. I would like also to greet my Zimbabweans. Kwese Kwavari, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Mukoma Teach, Sally seems to be very fond of you there, just looking at your picture there. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, DJ. Hello, my darling Sally, I missed you.
I missed you too, sweetheart.
Everybody, and hello to Zimbabwe. Here we are again, another election in Zimbabwe. Controversy never seems to avoid any of our elections. There's always one thing or the other. So we hope that this time around, maybe at least it will be peaceful.
All right. Thank you so much. Sekuru Birmingham, welcome to the show, Sekuru.
Mangwanani vanhu vese vakateerera kunze kwaSali because Sali ari murosa vanhu vese vakandisiya.
I'm sorry, my Sekuru. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. I'm sorry. Hello, my Sekuru. I missed you. I'm sorry.
Right. Sekuru, I must squeeze this right here, Sekuru. I know some people might not want to hear it, but Sekuru, how can the Premier League give you Manchester City and Chelsea to start off? 0 points?
It's even better because if we start with those and beat them before they are ready, before they are in the mood, that's better.
All right. Oh, so you're happy with that?
It is much better to play them at the start of the season before they've got into their stride than to play them at the end of the season when they've got into their stride and they have been hardened by the battles.
All right. Sekuru, thank you so much on that. Mukoma Wilbert, Manchester, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. Hello, Zimbabweans, wherever you are, and anybody else listening to the show.
Thank you so much. Tetero Zikwa America, welcome to the show.
Oh, hi, DJ. How's everybody doing?
Yes, lovely. Mukoma Benford, Maswera say.
Ndinane DJ Sodza maradi kwem.
Ayo wati no fara cho sekurisei ko kunobvio.
Kuno kuri right.
Thank you so much. It's good to have you on the show. Now, Mkoma Mark.
Ndripano Shamari.
Yes, how are you there, my brother? Kurisei Koku, the country of money. His Excellency Donald Trump. His Excellency Donald Trump, I saw him the other day.
No, we will talk about money later. You know, American money is all fake money.
No, Pakanaka, thank you so much for that. Right, guys, let's start. I don't know. Maybe let's start with you, Apede. You've seen the list of the nominations there, and there's 23 of them there. Any surprises there? Are you happy with the list?
Yeah, no, let me. Can I talk?
Right. Okay. Hold on. Mukama Mark, what are you saying?
Yeah, I just received a very bad phone call because Maxwell Shumba was dropped from the list. So
yes,
the first list, he was there, but anyway, I just wanted to point that out. So I think there will be a court battle today or tomorrow.
Yeah, no, the official list we got later on, he was not there. Yes.
Right. He said he has been rejected.
Yeah, don't worry about him. I mean, look at it. The nomination code is what it is. If you fill the criteria, then you are out of the race. Forget about it.
I don't think he had registered to vote.
Well, yeah, that's a good one, Rose. That's a good one, Rose. But yes.
But we discussed it. He had not registered to vote, so I think it was too late for him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look at it. I've got experience on the criteria in terms of the proceedings because I've gone through it before. What normally happens is that the people who sign your nomination papers must be registered voters, and then sometimes. If you don't have support, you may just, at random, pick up people to sign your papers, only to find that they are not on the voters roll. And then automatically you are disqualified.
Yeah, that's what he was told.
So that's normally what happens. But for big people, for, well-known big opposition political parties, it's not an issue because they've got so much pull to work on. But yake angari yokumushaka saka kumushaka kwacho vanogoronga vanga vasina kuregister futi iye pamwe pacho zvake haana kuregister akakangamwa.
Ndichamubvunza.
Back to your question, DJ Sodza. Yes, there are about 24 presidential candidates. It is a record in Africa, it probably is a record in the whole world. You could taita about 24 presidential candidates in a country in about 13 million people. Is that a good thing? Well, that's democracy. But it shows good things are not okay. It shows that things are not okay because ZANU PF camp. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
It shows that things are not okay because ZANU PF camp. It also shows that even from opposition point of view, there are a lot of people who are gullible, and some of these people might have been funded to split votes. Although what we know is that at least whether they might have been bought to split votes or vanhu vari kuda kugadzirawo CV yavo tikatarisa kuti kune ma-independence varipo. And then tinana Elton Mangoma, tine uyo wamaka interview panapa uyo Nkosana Moyo. They know very well that whatever happens, they will never win the election. as my president. And I don't know, is it a Zimbabwean culture perspective? You go to Ndini. If it's not me, then I've been waiting. Whereas those people, they could have actually been more beneficial to Zimbabwe, new Zimbabwe. Waka join either could join kana could ED kwacho kana join MDC and so that they become part and parcel of a coalition. Like yes, you know, MDC, yes, some members of the NPF, they've come to MDC and we are grateful for that, right? So my critical analysis on that is that yes, it is their democratic right. Unfortunately, there's not much we can do. It's their right, and the fact that they've gone through the nomination court, it means that their papers are in order. Except to Uishumba Chema brought my papers. Independent. I mean, I don't know. I'm not there. I don't know why papers they were not in order. They were not in order. I congratulate those whose papers they were found to be in order and they have gone through the nomination court. My worry is that the list, looking at the list, it was totally unnecessary. Yoguti vanu munhu nyatsa kuziva kuti awanikana vanhu 5 vanomuvhotera, but atesa mari yake yaari kuruza futi, because you pay $5,000. Yeah, vabhadhara mari yavo yaanoziva kuti anotongoruza anyway. What's the point? And you see kuti there's a catch there. There's somebody who is sponsoring them with that money, and that person akatora 1,000 I divide a vote. Akatora 10,000 I divide a vote. Otherwise, there is no rationale why somebody could pay 5,000 to lose an election, knowing very well that ana structure, atombozikana, and I don't lose anyway. Why would somebody do that? So yeah, that's my contribution. It's unfortunate.
All right. Thank you so much, Wapeve. But Wapeve, I want to continue, but it's a burning question that I have. Maybe you can answer it. Probably are the right person to answer it. Zvikundinetsa Wapeve kuti Thokozani Kupe arikunziye arikumirira MDCT and Nelson Chamisa arikumirira MDC Alliance. Does this really mean that Thokozani Kupe was the legitimate successor to Morgan Tsvangirai, if I'm looking from outside?
No, far away from it. If you remember well, even Tsvangirai Tsvangirai was not going to be an MDCT presidential candidate. Because remember, this MDC alliance was mooted long back. Kupe I to boycott MDC alliance, not MDCT. Although I got to end up boycotting MDC alliance and MDCT. So Tsvangirai was going to be an MDC alliance president, and nobody was going to be an MDCT president, according to the agreement.
All right.
So obviously, if you look at it, Kupe looked at it, but okay, fine. Whether Tsvangirai or Chamisa. So this has nothing to do with Chamisa. Chamisa is taken over position. Tsvangirai is an MDC alliance, and nobody is going to contest as MDCT president. So she took that technicality to try to feel that void. That's fine. I think
so why hasn't the legitimate MDC stopped her? Because I think why haven't you guys stopped her? Why hasn't the legitimate MDC stopped her from using MDCT?
No, if you remember well, that it went to the Supreme Court, and then the Supreme Court referred back to the High Court. The High Court, the lower court, yet a rule who is the legitimate leader of the party. And
So
that
no one knows. No, so technically, you're saying no one knows who's the legitimate president. Then
no.
no one knows. That's a fact.
Well, can I just finish? What I'm saying, although those papers were filed up to the date year nomination court, which was today, no hearing to that effect has taken place.
Okay,
And
so
then-
so technically no one knows who's the legitimate president.
No. How can you say no one knows?
That's what you're saying.
No, what I'm saying is,
so no one actually knows.
Can I say this? If Coupe was the legitimate president, is what other people would want to portray, then Coupe would be the MDC Alliance president, because the MDCT president automatically was actually.
Okay, so are you technically saying now we have two MDCTs?
Look, what I'm saying is, you can have 3, 5, 10 MDCT. That's not a legal question.
Okay, but there has to be. Can we have 10 MDCTs and they all be MDCTs and be allowed to be MDCTs?
No, but what I'm saying.
Doesn't someone have ownership of MDCTs?
What I'm saying, Rosin, they're good. Whether we've got 2 MDCTs or 3 MDCT, Kanaya court, it is the prerogative of the court to decide otherwise.
Okay, so you're saying no one knows.
If the court has not met.
So no one knows which one is legitimate then?
No. What I'm saying.
Legitimacy basically is based on what whoever supports things, right?
Rosie.
No, I'm saying based on what you're saying the court should decide. So legitimacy right now is based on what somebody supports.
No, look at it. I think.
I'm speaking technically on legally on what you're saying.
Can you just listen to what I'm saying?
I have listened, but you're not telling me I wouldn't get it. How have you decided which is the legitimate
You asked the question and I'm
answering. No, but how have you? You're not answering how.
What I'm saying.
Which one is the legitimate MDC?
That's Rosie.
Can you explain that to the people?
Rosie.
How have you? What decision did you come to? What legal decision did you come to?
Can I answer what you've asked? What I'm saying is, nomination court is nothing to do with the question who is the legitimate. The nomination court has nothing to do with that.
Because but what you're technically saying is anyone, even I could walk up and say, I'm the real MDCT and just go and register. You're saying there's no proprietary or ownership that anyone can put on a name. Is that what you're saying?
No, what I'm saying is MDC Alliance, has nothing, cannot stop.
No, I'm not concerned about MDC Alliance. Keep in mind, I'm going to vote for MDC Alliance.
But
I'm concerned about,
how do you
what I want an answer on is, are you saying anyone can just walk off the street and say they are now MDCT and put an X and say, I'm MDCT president? Is that what you're saying?
No, assuming you are the president.
Okay.
Assuming you are the MDC, stop that. How do you stop that?
But you're not answering the legitimate question.
How do you stop that?
To be honest with you, I don't care right now. I'm sorry.
How do you stop that?
But I know for a fact Coupe was the legitimate president. And that is a fact.
Hang on.
Supporting people.
Okay, hold on. Okay. All right. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
And that is a fact.
Rosie, hold on. We will revisit this. We'll revisit this in a second. Mukama Wilbet, you have seen the list, right?
Yes.
Yes. What's your take on that?
Well, my biggest disappointment is that the elections are going ahead in the first place, because I still firmly believe.
I'm not happy that I had the floor. And you didn't actually moderate it correctly, and now you're passing it over to somebody else.
No, because he's coming back to it. He's just allowing Tevas to pull.
No, you don't do that. You don't. How? Look, I haven't finished. You are passing over to somebody else. I think that.
What was happening is that the DJ.
What I'm saying, DJ has the right to moderate. Inina was talking. Rosie has no reason to interject. That's the fact, isn't it? That's moderation.
Right. But deflection, the Paguchea Nyaga, Inotenderwa foot. I don't care over deflect. Also good to get as a gata. At the present moment, I'd start to check why. I'm sorry to be.
No, we were not supposed to. The floor was not given to two people, was given to one person.
Can I just say something, Feve, there? I think you've got to also respect everybody else on the panel. I mean, if you're going to talk for a whole hour, I mean, it sounds like we've just come.
Who was talking for the whole hour? I was asked the question.
Okay. Look, hang on.
I was asked the question.
You've been talking.
Can you just listen?
People are being patient with you, but you should also learn to respect other people.
I respect you all the time. I don't. You remember. I think all the time you find it.
Right now.
All right. Okay, guys. For the benefit of moving on, what if the pet sign and everyone, please just monitor. Canada Shikapa Mori. Then you can pose those questions. For the benefit of moving on.
All I was saying, DJ, thank you very much. Look, MDC Chamisa Changrai was always going to be an MDC Alliance presidential candidate. So there's no conflict there. Which means that the MDC Alliance was not going to have a candidate as a presidential candidate. Year 2018 election. However, Nyayo Guti Kupe Atora Aitafao is MDC Alliance. MDC is an MDC. That's fine, we have no problem with that. Right?
Right, okay.
Because the decision was not made by the court as was expected. Right? And the people of Zimbabwe, they know if they want to vote for Negi for Kupe, that's fine. But what we know very well is we've had this situation before. In 2005, if you remember, na Welshman. Welshman had MDC, and then there was MDCT. People will not be fooled because of synonyms or abbreviations. People will know where to vote for. That's all I wanted to say.
All right.
And Michael.
Okay, thank you so much. Mukoma Wilbert, sorry about that. Go ahead about the list that you've seen. You said you're disappointed. What disappointed you?
Well, my initial disappointment is that MDC and all these other opposition parties, particularly MDC Alliance, they last week were telling us they've got these red lines where they are not going to. They're going to stop the elections unless those reforms were implemented. And they are the ones who are now disregarding the same red lines. You know, this is the disappointment I have with people like MDC. And to just come back to this issue, the number itself, to be quite honest, DJ, I don't care, even if it was 100. I think we have got to learn to stop contradicting ourselves. Some people here are saying, "Oh, it is their democratic right to stand," and yet the next breath they are saying they shouldn't have stood. So what are you saying? You know, if this is their democratic right, let them do it. Then why are you criticizing them? If they lose their money, it is their money. Why are you worried about it? You know, oh, they are dividing the vote. If they are dividing the vote, they are also dividing the ZANU PF vote. How do you know it is only the opposition vote that is they are dividing? You know, so in any case, even if they divide the opposition vote, the point is with the presidential election, the winning candidate must win 50% of the cast vote plus one. So if the opposition was to altogether get 60%, and ZANU PF get 40%, they cannot be declared the winner because he didn't get 50% plus 1. That is the point. So this whole issue of all the dividing the vote in the parliamentary and senatorial, yes, but presidential, nonsense. I think we've got to get over this. Some people are just using that now as an excuse of criticizing other people. If they have got the money and they want to throw it away, it is their business. It's their democratic right. The only problem I have here is that by standing, when you know the elections are going to be rigged, you are undermining the democratic process in the sense that the people, the ordinary person who is being denied the vote, particularly those in the rural areas who are being frog marched to attend rallies and then frog marched to vote for ZANU PF. Those are the people who we should be talking about here. If you're going to participate in an election that you know is not free, fair, and credible, you are shortchanging the ordinary person. Yes, some of these opposition people are going in for the few seats that ZANU PF always give away during my elections, like national elections, just to entice the opposition to participate. But in reality, they know they have no chance if the elections are rigged. The rallies that we've seen big rallies before. We've seen the crossover that Trangirai did in 2013. And then when the elections came out, Mugabe had 62%. So where did Mugabe get that? We know that he rigs elections. And that is the point that is going to be underlined here. And I think this is where we are failing to see the point. And I think some people who keep on hammering other people for participating, forget it. It is their right. You accept it, and you should accept it, and not have this double talk where you accept it in one breath and then say, oh no, we don't accept it in another. No. It is their right. If they've got their money, they didn't borrow the money from you. And even if they borrowed it from you, if you gave it to them, it's your fault.
Thank you so much, Mukomangu. I know a lot of people are sending messages, Kwandiri, about things that are happening on the show. But thank you so much. Keep them coming. We'll take them into consideration. Mkoma Teach, you have seen the list, and I saw you posting it everywhere on Facebook and I'm on your WhatsApp group as well, and you posted it to me. What did you make of it?
I think one thing is clear. The Zimbabwe presidency, as it were, right now, is such a cheap position. So much that anyone who just wakes up dreaming of running can just run, regardless of the fact whether they can or can deliver or can master the support. It doesn't matter. It has become such a bad position, and the country itself is in such a bad state that everyone thinks they can fix it. It's also another reflection that a lot of people are realizing that politics is where the money is in the country, because everyone with a political office or political position is well off. So you see, from MP to councillor, everyone wants to jump in on the bandwagon, and the question becomes, do we have the candidate that really want to build the country or not? So for me, nomination court today is a reflection of the pathetic state of our political affairs as a country. Because honestly, if you think about the fact that there's only 13 or up to 15 million people in Zimbabwe, and we've got 23 official candidates for the presidency, some of them we've never heard of. Now, if you look at it, you see that it's not going to brew a legitimate outcome. The worst thing is that with all these people thinking that they can run, it means the ruling party has created such a conducive atmosphere by their ineptitude that everyone just thinks they can jump in. The standard and the bar has been lowered so low that it's just unbelievable that Zimbabwe has deteriorated to this extent. And one hopes that people realize that ZANU PF are the sole agents responsible for this state of affairs and should not be getting back into power. Because if you put them back into power under these circumstances, there's nothing that will change. It's a mafia of thieves. They need to actually get rid of ZANU PF now. That's what, for me, the nomination court reflects.
Thank you so much, Mkomatish, for a short and sweet explanation of what you thought happened there. Mukoma Mark, you are hearing what others are saying. I've sent you the list now. You've got the list. What did you make of it?
Well, I'm wondering why I didn't put my name there. Anyway, I'm halfway excited, but you know, I'm also sad that this panel sounds like it has intelligent people. And the issue is, we accepted democracy as the philosophy and ideology of political system that we are going to follow. But the real truth is that Zimbabwe and most of African countries are not really ready for democracy because they are not prepared to fix their constitution. That's why people are so frustrated. Because in a democracy, yes, you can run for president if you meet the required conditions. But also, in a real mature democracy, you should align yourself with people who are who think like you. And so I think that the multiple candidates we have, we couldn't avoid it. It had to happen because, you know, we all want to be leaders. So I think to us it should signal as a real broken system that needs to fix at a later date after elections. Because we might cry all we want and say democracy, these are splitting votes, we have too many people. But really, I regard myself as a quintessential analyst. There is no democracy in Zimbabwe. People who are going to vote are going either to vote MDCT or MDC Alliance or ZANU PF. They don't care what the leaders actually say. In fact, I think there's a rule, a hidden rule somewhere. If I was an MP and I praised someone from ZANU PF and I'm from MDC, I could be recalled. So there's really, our country is broken. We really should know that. So a lot of problems are going to show up. It's going to be here. Election is not fair, and we don't want soldiers here. We don't want many candidates. But we really have to know that our country is broken. If I tell you the problems I see in the country that need fixing, I just hope the first day, whoever wins, Chanisa, Mnangagwa, whoever wins should call all those opposition leaders and say, hey, let's build a country. Let's tell our people to unite, because the election, whichever way you look at it, is not going to be fair.
So are you saying that this election is not going to be fair? So is there a point of going into an election that is not fair?
Well, but it can't be fixed immediately. This is something we have been sitting on for years and years and years. I know very well, if I go to my village right now and say, vote for DJ Sodza, you will get the election, because the same Zuguru told us that, you know. That we are not mature democratically as a country, and everybody on this panel should know that.
All right. Aiwa, thank you so much, Kuma Mark, for that. I want to go to South Africa, Kuna Sally. Sally, we missed you last week, but you've seen the list there. Are you happy with it?
I looked for one name, Amai Majuru. That was it. Okay, I mean, wait a minute. There's a name right down at the bottom. The kingpin immigration scam, Mr. Wilson. I burst out laughing. I'm telling you, I mean, oh my Lord. Look, I have to laugh because otherwise I'm going to get very angry and I'll cry and I'm sick of doing that. Okay? I really am. I am sick of shedding tears. I've shed tears on this program where Titch and DJ Sodza and my poor Sekuru didn't know what to do with me. Okay? So, I'm tired of it. Zimbabweans need to grow up. Seriously. They need to put their big girl and big boy panties on and stop this business of going for who shouts the loudest, who looks the handsomest, who drives the most flashy car, and who somebody tells them to vote for. They have to realize that that vote that they are going to cast has been got through blood and people dying. They owe that vote the complete and utter respect that they would give to their relative that had been to the war and fought for that vote. Okay? These people that come in, that have never even stood an election, a by-election or whatever you call those elections, okay? The small ones, the big ones, the cheap ones, the whatever ones. They've never stood for an election, but they're standing for president. Bueno, eh? You know, I don't know what's wrong. And the more educated the person is, I'm going to say it, and I know that people are going to hate me for it, and I don't really care. Well, I kind of care, but I don't really care. The more educated the people are, the more stupid they are. I don't see the sense in it. Yes, flood the by-elections for MPs and all that kind of business, because the more opposition you can get into parliament, that's where the business is done. That's where you can now start making noise. As a president, please, you don't have a hope in continental hell, which Zimbabwe has become, okay, to win it. So why do it? You're going into something. You see, I don't understand this. When I do something, my aim is to win, not some airy-fairy, excuse the expression, fart-ass idea, okay? I have got a goal to win, and I know that it goes through that to get there. Even if it takes me a year or 2 years, that is my goal to win. Now, these people haven't even stood on a normal ward election or anything, and yet they're there as president. I mean, please. I give up. I seriously do.
Right. Sally, we can share your pain here. You are not happy with the situation going on.
No.
Right.
No, not at all.
Not at all. Thank you so much, Sally. We'll come back to you down the line. Let me go Kuna Sekuru. Sekuru, you have seen the list, and I know you've got a lot to say about that list. What have you got to say?
I don't have much to say. All I know is panyaya dzaitika apa paratidza kuti pa MDC paita ma MDC maviri. Chamisa has been forced to form his own party, and he is contesting on a new party. To kwasara ne MDCT uye sezvaakataura ndini original leader of MDCT. And I think if you remember very well, I posed this question to Mr. Pepe. Pakatanga kuita problem yacho ndikati naye mikuka zvikazoita sezvizvi munoita sei? And Mr. Pepe said, that's a very good question. We will look into that. It looks like zvakatadza kuitwa look into up to now. And the reason why Shakata look into was because somebody advised Chamisa to push for a court solution. And that court solution is now failed to materialize in time for the election, which is exactly the same question that we were asking. Kukana to Kamuswe election, Mapepa and Dini MGCT, I Mapanga Dinda sign and Dini did watch Monomita see. And up to now, that question remains unanswered. Then the issue confronted the purpose of the alliance was to avoid non-ruling party presidents contesting for the presidential position. Confident one person and represent the opposition as the presidential candidate. That has not happened. So we are back to square one. Because the idea was that my presidents, my opposition party should not contest each other for the sake of just contesting each other and competing for votes. All the votes should count on one opposition leader. So alliance.
So Sekul, the dream of Morgan Tsvangirai was to have all opposition parties go as one ticket. So today, Ponga nominate for 2 more candidates, Emerson Mnangagwa and one leader of the alliance. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes, and unless Kanakwa is independent.
No, that's not true. Because you cannot, you can't refuse one another. Democracy, any other party another contest umurambidzi. But the main party Kabatana, that was the original idea, and I think that original idea still stands.
Okay, all right. Sekuru criticizing.
I thought Mr. Pepe was complaining to Apindi Buffalo Power, and now he is now coming in and saying it's not true, and then he is repeating what I've just said. I don't understand. The idea was all opposition parties should form an alliance. You could feel the one presidential candidate, right? Can I feel that one presidential candidate? Kuma constituency would divide and Can I divide and a parliamentary in seats? Awacha contestant the party kana Murimu alliance alliance most of you the as a party. So that I intend to be corrected, no chance of correct out, but that is my understanding. I will believe here alliance. Those are Fambira Trangram na January and February. I think that my districts, my places, essay, I got 2 months where I'm going to Achichaga. Wakawaga report, Musanga, and Wakatintos and Tisudanawan, do Papa's the president Changrai, Tokushukupa Masimba Ogudi, Okumul, this alliance. And this alliance initially was supposed to target Maimujuru party. Pakatosainwa a memorandum of understanding in Maimujuru. It's valid in an asa. I said that it what year off. But Maimujuru now is registered as a leader of a party, a presidential contestant. So Dunga Mo we have Varwanas.
Right, Sekuru, please, I just want to have a very simple question, Kuna Sekuru. Now, Sekuru, be very honest with me. I know you always try to be very honest here. Now, Sekuru, looking at it from outside, Inini as an outsider, it looks like Thokozani Kupe now become the legitimate leader of the MDCT, taking over from Morgan Tsvangirai. Will I be wrong by saying that?
From day one, could breach a constitution. The Constitution is specific in that regard. In the event of the death of the president, the deputy president elected at Congress must take over the party and leads it into a extraordinary general meeting for the purpose, General Congress, for the purpose of electing a replacement of the deceased president. Pagango, the minute the party or the National Council failed to follow that clause, everything else is akazetika angawe masara amusi ekutaga power.
So Sekuru Batai, so could you understand I know a lot of people would like to understand. So what could have happened is go for Congress. Munanengazo wina Congress obazo ndonzi as alliance leader.
Exactly. Iye manje iye ndio ngachi contest wina ani munhu iye unenga ba Congress.
Aiwa Sekuru, thank you so much. Zvinonzi hanzi chiri murusaka chino zvinzwira. Tetero Siku America oko. What did you make of the list that you've got in your hands there?
It's just another joke in Zimbabwe. I mean, it's actually expected to see more people than the ones I saw. I thought there would be at least 50. So I was actually surprised to see that number. Because, I mean, there's a lot of there's like 100-something political parties in Zimbabwe. With a lot of people saying they were going to run for president. Maybe some of them couldn't come up with the money. You know, but it's not unexpected. It's very expected. And one of the things that someone said in Zimbabwe now, when you want to make money, there's two careers that you go for. That you're going to make money. You either become a pastor or you go into politics. Those are the two professions where people know that you can be a con artist and make money.
I'm going to be a pastor in that regard.
So, I mean, yeah, you're going to find a lot of people going into politics, genuine people who want to make money from politics. I mean, genuine in the sense that they genuinely want to just join and make money. And then you also find that there's some people there who are proxies, because from there. They cost so much fracas. In fact, one of them, the first one on the list, and I'm actually surprised to see him actually leading that party now. So that there's a combination of, you know, things going on. Yes, there's some people you know, they're trying to build their resume. Because to be honest, be truthful, no one there, I mean, how many of those people who were there, besides maybe the ZANU PF and the main opposition party in Zimbabwe, have an actual chance of winning a presidential election, if we're being truthful? There's only maybe 2 people who have a chance of winning a presidential election there. You know, and one of them wins from rigging, which is Mnangagwa, not genuinely. He could never win genuinely in Zimbabwe. And then you have Chamisa. You know, even Thokozani Kupe doesn't really have a chance of winning. He doesn't have that level of support. You know? So, really, you're looking at it, most of the people on that list could not ever win. They would never, because how many of them could actually get 51%? They cannot get 51%, and they also know that they cannot get 51%. You know? So why are you even involved in a process where you can't even get 51%? But the other thing that worries me right now, the opposition, you know, is the fact that we have an issue, Yakuti. We need, if they plan to be serious about winning an election, they're not going to get reformed. But they're not even doing the basics here. What about my polling? They have not even trained election polling station officers. They haven't trained. They're saying they have no money to train people who are supposed to protect your vote. They need about 40,000 people. And we have 6 weeks to election. They have not started the process of properly recruiting. Because for recruit, you need to make sure you need to train, you need to make sure that with whatever process that requires. But yet that has not been done. But then people keep saying that they're going to win an election. My question is, if you do not do what you're supposed to do to win an election, to protect the vote, are you going to be honest with the Zimbabwean people and tell them, we did not do this? So therefore, we went into the election knowing fully well we were helping ZANU PF rig the election by neglecting to do what we were supposed to do. Because that needs to be an honest thing told to Zimbabwe. Because I'm sure Zimbabweans knew the MDC needed to have trained polling officers. Then right down Zimbabwe, are going to volunteer just to protect their vote. People would be volunteering right now, and doing whatever is needed to make sure that they protect their vote. And that is the most important thing, more important than having a rally. Because rallies do not vote. And I have been saying it even from the time Yakuti, go check your voters roll. I say instead of people doing rallies, why aren't you busing those people to polling stations to check to see if their name is on the voter roll? But that wasn't done. Well, now we're here in effect, Yakuti. We're not even training election polling station officers. Yes, rally still. Why aren't you saving that money? Because you have 6 weeks to go. And start going down on the ground and making sure those polling station officers are actually trained so that you can protect the vote. Okay. It's not going to make any sense whatsoever.
All right. Thank you so much, Tete. I can understand what you're saying, that maybe more resources should be put on vanhu vanoenda pama-polling station vachindita ma-observe kuona kuti zvinhu zviri kufamba sei and all the rest of it. Thank you so much. But for the benefit of moving on, regai ndiende pana mukoma Benford. Mukoma Benford, what did you make of the list itself?
Maita basa DJ Sodza. That is a sign yokuti we have democracy in Zimbabwe. I don't understand why some people are complaining about the list. If you remember in 1987 when ZANU PF merged with ZAPU, they wanted to declare Zimbabwe a one-party state. And people resisted that and fought for multi-party democracy. At that point, the only party angairi visible, to a certain extent, was almost ZANU Ntonga, and the Muzore was part which was almost not there. So people fought to this multi-party democracy, and this is what is being delivered here. It's not unique to Zimbabwe. If you look at the last election, like of Liberia, they had almost 22 candidates to start with. So there's nothing wrong with that. That is democracy at work, and we actually encourage it. I'm against this lumping of my candidates because you deprive people of making their own choice. In fact, I tend to disagree with what Teach was saying. That is so cheap. It should even be free, so that no one should be limited. Can I now contest because they cannot afford $1,000? Zokuti it's neither here nor there. Neither here nor there, because Teach does not know everybody in Zimbabwe. Everybody in Zimbabwe. The fact yokuti ndaona security muteki very candidate nas, maybe he's popular in circles in Zimbabwe and he can pull a win. That's democracy at work. I really liked it when I saw that. Now there are a few other issues. The other issue, the MDC alliance in MDCT. My opinion on that case is I think Chamisa and his group, they did an excellent job. They used their brains because Kupi was just going to complicate their case. Probably my nominations now they were both thrown out. MDCT, which is very necessary. There's nothing in a name. If the T represented Changirai is no longer there, even though his idea, his ideas still stands, and you can carry on with Changirai's ideas, whether you call yourself MDC Alliance or not even MDC. Even if they put a new name, they can still continue Changirai's ideas. So this thing you're going to argue about the T in a name, Pandiri is insignificant. If Kupi wants to keep the T, let that be. But then the people of Zimbabwe will make their choice and decide who they really want in terms of their in terms of their ideas. Now, one other thing here is, so I commend Vanapeve and their group for sticking in a MDC Alliance name. Now, coming to this election on its own, I think it's obvious that this is a two-people race here. This is a race of ED versus Chamisa. Because of their democratic right, but they are not in the race. Coupe, I think she might as well start writing obituary yake and the likes of Vanamam Juru. After this election, there will be history, for good. Let me see if I have one other point. Lastly, I have to make a comment to Wilbert. My appeal to Wilbert, I know it's your democratic right to even make your comments on this show, but I would think, since we now have the candidates, we have an election coming on the 30th of July, I would hope you could spare us in the following weeks until after the election. This notion you're going to boycott my election. Let's talk about the elections that are coming and not talk about boycotting elections or this and that. To focus on the election that is coming and discuss, that as we, in the weeks that go. That's probably what I have at this point.
Yes, thank you so much. I'll come to you, back to you down the line. But I've got a message here. There are some messages that I chose not to read because they might cause a bit of controversy. We don't want that. We want messages that are radio friendly here. This one is saying that, DJ, can you please correct Mukoma Mark in America? He keeps on saying you are DJ Sodza. Please tell him you are DJ Sodza, not DJ Sodza.
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, that's one. That's one of the listeners there. Anyway, yeah, there are some messages that I'm sorry I'm not going to read, guys. This one is saying, DJ, please, ndikorokotedzereiwo vapebve new assignment yawakapiwa na President Chamisa. What else? Right, okay, right. No, I won't read that one. Thank you so much, Zimbabwe. If you want to send a message to us, if you've got a comment or anything that you want to say on what we are talking about today, please do drop me a WhatsApp. My WhatsApp number 0798 4455349. That's 0798 4455349. Pane kambo kanda tumirwa pano nomwe pururu wangu Zimbabwe. In fact mkwasho kwanzi DJ mozoridzira vanhu pachirongwa chenyu vanoteerera pa YouTube. Actually vanotanzi thank you so much to Sally for putting the show on the YouTube. Kune vanhu ku Zimbabwe vakato, I don't know what they do. Vaya vanoteedzera zvema YouTube. Sally, what do they do? Because what they do now, the moment you post it on YouTube, they get a note to say that Saleh has posted the show, and then they listen to it. So if you don't post it, they will be hunting me down here. I'm gonna give them your contact so they can hunt you.
That's all right. I'm used to people hunting me.
So yes, Baba.
You know, the one thing, can I say something quickly, please?
I want to acknowledge
the one thing is...
Oh, hold on. Yeah. Yes, Sally, go ahead.
Scroll to the channel, okay, to the YouTube channel, so that the minute I post, they will get a notification, okay?
And what's the name of it? What's the name of this YouTube channel?
Now you're asking me.
I'll
tell you, I think
Misty something.
Sally Spencer.
Okay, Sally Spencer. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. I'll check.
You can check and let us know.
Yeah.
What did you want to say, please?
Yeah, I want to acknowledge the congratulations to Rwanda listener and say thank you.
Thank you so much.
From me.
Yeah.
Right. All right. Let me.
Stanley, thank you.
Let me play that trick. So we'll take a 2.5 minute break and we'll be back. I want to ask you guys what you think about Zek coming out and say probably the results will be 5 days after the vote.
This is a disclaimer. The opinions expressed by contributors during radio call-in shows are solely those of the individual callers and do not reflect the opinions of ZimNet Radio, DJs, presenters, managers or administration. Listeners are encouraged and advised to seek the services of qualified professionals for their personal problems.
In touch with the best online station, ZimNet Radio.
Make the whole world know about your business. Advertise with ZimNet Radio. Email marketing@zimnetradio.com.
Join DJ Sodza. And his informative team live every Thursday at 9 p.m. UK time, discussing Zimbabwean politics.
Yes, Roko. Chamisa ndiye president wa Zimbabwe. Machinda muri kushinzo here. 1, 2, 3. Chinja, chinja. Chinja maitiro chinja. 1, 2, 3. Chisa mama. Kukuri zengo. Na Jesu tinoshika chete. Cheuze. Chamisa oye. Machamisa mofis. Saramba. Akutongwane zampie kutaramba. Taramba kutongwane masani. Taramba. Akutongwane zampie kutaramba. Taramba kutongwane masani. Zimbabwe. Akutongwane zampie kutaramba. Taramba kutongwane masani. Zimbabwe. Akutongwane zampie kutaramba. Taramba kutongwane masani. MTC. Akutongwane zampie kutaramba. Taramba kutongwane masani. MTC. Akutongwane zampie kutaramba. Taramba kutongwane masani. Baba Chamisa weZimbabwe, Baba Chamisa ndiye president weZimbabwe, ndiye Chamisa Zimbabwe, Baba Chamisa ndiye president weZimbabwe. Let's go. Taramba, akutongwane zampie kutaramba. Taramba kutongwane masani. Taramba, akutongwane zampie kutaramba. Taramba kutongwane masani. Zimbabwe, akutongwane zampie kutaramba. Taramba kutongwane masani. Zimbabwe, akutongwane zampie kutaramba. Taramba kutongwane masani. MTC, akutongwane zampie kutaramba. Taramba kutongwane masani. MTC, akutongwane zampie kutaramba. Taramba kutongwane masani. Now present to all leaders of MTC Alliance. Makanyanya, I respect and salute you. Chinja maitiro chinja. Kukuli zenzo, izenzo kukula. Thank you. Let's go.
Right. I'm sorry.
Who people didn't want?
I'm not aware of that.
Principle.
Okay.
I'm not aware of that.
Hello, guys. Hello. Sorry. Guys, please hold on. Please hold on, guys. Hold on. Right. Now, Zulubitika Panapa Zimbabwe. I have to read this one. I need to move on. But I'm kind of a bit confused here. If anyone can help me, Varipa panel. Kwanziko, hello DJ Sodza. Can you help me by asking your panelists which political party portfolios are paid positions regardless of where the official is based? Let me read that again. Hello DJ Sodza. Can you help me by asking your panelists which political party portfolios are paid positions regardless of where the official is based? I don't know if anyone is understanding where the listener is coming from there, is understanding that question.
I understand.
Let me answer you quickly.
Yeah?
All political parties have got elected officials. Elected officials are elected to seek public office. But within the political party, there are administrators, chief staff officers, people that run the party on a daily basis. These people are salaried by the party or are given allowances, whilst elected officials can also be given traveling allowances, hotel accommodation allowances. But as a job, only the staffers are paid a salary.
All right. What have you got a different perspective of it?
I think I've got a different perspective. I think this Muda Bunza Anagonangachi Akanangana Nema recent appointments. Yakaitwa na President Chamisa Muswatko Fujuni.
Okay.
Look, I do understand the Zetaro na Tichika, that's the correct position. But Kanari, it's an opposition party or it's a liberation struggle party. Panamanga positions, there are cities are my elected positions. Where Anongari, yeah, voluntary, we get those as well. Yes, for example, I can give you an example. Young Queen, I've been for the past 5 years. As an EU representative, traveling around the EU, etc., etc. I was not on salary. Let me put it on record. I was not on salary, right? Much of it I was actually using my own resources. From time to time, yes, by that, some people would support on a project-to-project basis. And this one, this appointment, 12 June. It's about 2 days ago. I'm not going to comment on that one because the terms of reference and everything else is yet to come. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. Then, you know, if these questions come, I think it's fair for us to engage so that if you've got an answer for the listener, that's the purpose of the show anyway. Anzi, I saw Jonathan Moyo being ridiculed as a bitter sellout. But what do your panelists make of his revelations about the ZANU PF rigging method? And if so, do they think going into this election is worthwhile? I don't know where maybe Jonathan Moyo put something on Twitter that I haven't seen.
Can I comment on that one?
Did you see that in Common Wilbert?
I think you'll find an article about that one in Blueway 24 and DMI. I don't know which other publications also covered it, but those two definitely have covered it. And in fact, there is also is it Daily News or News Daily. They've also covered it, and they made a follow up on that because they actually interviewed somebody who confirmed what Jonathan Moyo was saying, that there is a 16-member Chinese experts on biometric voter registration and cyber internet expertise who are helping ZANU PF produce this defective voters roll. So there is a lot of supportive evidence. But also in this particular case, we cannot discount Jonathan Moyo because of the three people who knew how ZANU PF was rigging elections the most. I think the three people are Robert Mugabe himself, Jonathan Moyo, and Emerson Mnangagwa. So he knew because he was one of their strategists and also helping implement it. And even Mugabe has acknowledged that. So I think to discount it is just somebody who tries to throw it away because they don't like the bad news. But just to come back on that one, on what Benford was saying on this a few minutes ago, that is, if I decide to concentrate on how ZANU PF is rigging the elections, that is what is my right. And in this particular case, I think it is also important that that information comes out. And for you to start dictating to everybody what we can talk about for the next 1.5 months. Again, you're missing the point at all. You say you're a Democrat, you want to see democratic elections, and yet you're still already starting to box in everybody on what they can talk about. Who are you?
DJ Sodza, can I respond to Namkoma a little bit?
Yeah, but I don't want it now to become a tit for tat that it's going to be all night, guys. We have to move on here.
No. Wilbert, if you listened carefully when I was speaking, I said it is your democratic right. The point that I was making is you have been making the same point for almost the last 2 years. Okay? And now we are going towards the crucial election, and they are still making the same point as if this election is not going to take place. That's kind of the direction I was saying. But you're right. It's your right to say whatever you want on this show. And I will fight for you to have that right to say whatever you want.
To shut up.
You've been making the same argument for 2 years.
Yeah, so what?
Ngatidaika muzukuru Benford kana Wilbert achida kutaura zvake zvekuti ma-elections are rigged vanhu ngavasaenda ma-election ngataure vanoda kuresponda
zuva nezuva ere sekuruwo zvira
aiwa
that's okay
vanoda kuresponda voresponda vasingadi kuresponda tongonyarara
okay sekuru point taken sekuru
Namkoma Sodza.
Yes baba.
Nyaya yekurigwa kwema-election haisiriyo inotofarwa ngeri mudariro here pa-election season kudai. I'm being surprised about this censorship of Wilbert. I think this is the most appropriate time to be talking about it.
All right.
Saka ndati nini ndaida kupindura nyaya yaJonathan Moyo. Jonathan Moyo ndi baba vadhukwa. Abadhukwa inini ndaivaverenga ndichitarira zvimwe zvavanonyora ndichitoti zvine musoro ndichitarira zvimwe zvavaanyora ndichiti hai ndokunzi kupenga mashoko. And I was right because some of the things zvavaanyora zvazviri zvenhema, some of the things zvazviri zvechokwadi. So to give him credit yekuti ndiye aiziva zvokuriga kweelection yeZANU, in a dispute that I think this apeno tichune maina ndikire circles akasimba kudarika angu muZANU PF. I think the rigging yeZANU PF inoitwa nemilitary intelligence, because the way and the precision it is done is such that pavanhu vese vakadzingwa kuZANU, not one has come up with a single tangible evidence which is it was so it means kuti vanhu vairiga vachiri muZANU, because nokutsamwa kwakaita vanhu vakadzingwa, honestly I can't see people failing to say pakati takariga seizvizvi. They just talk in parables, nema-folk tongues. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I still, in my sixth name says, my sixth sense, vanhu vacho vairiga vachirimo muZANU, saka zvisina kubuda.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much, Sekuru. Right, one way.
Can I say something very quickly? Can I say something very, very, very quickly? I promise. I'm not going to ask a question. I'm just going to make a statement.
Okay.
I read through Jonathan Moyo's tweets, which I wanted to cut my head off for. All the stuff he said about ZEC, Titch has been telling us exactly word for word for years. Now Jonathan Moyo comes in and everybody must give him attention. Come on, the man must probably listen to the show and took what Titch said and then made it into a thing. Because it's exactly what Titch has been telling us, how ZEC is being run. And all the involvement and how deep it goes and everything. Come on, people.
Sally, thank you so much for that.
Can I make a comment?
Right, okay guys, let me do this. Vapepe.
Yes.
Right, Vapepe, can you tell me, is it acceptable for ZEC to come out and say, my results we should expect them maybe 5 days after one voter? Is that acceptable? I don't know. Is that in the constitution? Is that acceptable? Is it how it is? Should we just get on with it? That's how it is?
Yeah, it is part of the law. It's part of the regulation. So it doesn't say after 5 days. It says within 5 days
of the election.
Yeah, within 5 days of the election. In other words, and there may be some technicalities, the transportation, coloration, tallying votes because of remote areas, polling stations. But you need to understand that counting are polling stations. Some of the polling stations, they may be so remote, network and then transport. So, within 5 days. Okay. So there is no excuse for ZEC not to release. Because if you remember, Parambeta 6 weeks before. Right?
Yeah.
So this one, you got to within 5 days. So that's the law. Yes, so, it is acceptable.
So acceptable, right? Okay. Thank you so much.
Ask a question. Can I ask the question?
Yeah, I was gonna come to you though. But you can pose the question then.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Mukama Wilbert, 5 days acceptable for you? Within 5 days?
I think it's not a question of all results will be declared after 5 days. It's again some of those that are remote, and this whatever excuse is given. So in this particular case, maybe the wording was the way the ZEC explained it was maybe not so good, but it should be declared within 5 days. Yes, that is the law.
All right. Thank you so much. Mkoma teach 5 days, okay? Within 5 days?
5 days for the official results.
Okay.
Results will start trickling in on the first day of the election because it's a one-day election. Our elections are no longer run over 2 days. So by midnight, certain declarations will be made. You must remember these elections are per polling station, and there's a command center coordinating each constituency, and the command center collecting the whole district, and then you've got the provincial command center. In all those areas will be agents of all the contesting political parties, and each and every agent can be releasing on WhatsApp, on Facebook, social media, and other newspapers and official formal media will actually be giving us the results. But the collected national full results, meaning they come from both the districts, from the provinces, and come to the national command center, are the ones that are said to come on within 5 days or after 5 days at least. So results are not going to stop coming. With social media, we will know who's won, who's lost.
All right. Thank you so much. Mark?
Okay. The last guy just answered my question.
Okay.
But let me comment on the 5 days and let me put people's hearts to rest, because if, like the last speaker said, if there is a tallying at the polling station will know, one, how many people came to vote, and two, there will be an approximate tally which should be 1% or 2% off of who voted for who in that poll. And once that is known, the sum total of every tally should come very close to the national total that will be officially announced. So I don't see, I've been in computers for over 40 years. I don't see where the rigging can happen unless you tell me, Kuti, there's no count of who comes to vote, how many people voted, and how many people voted for who at the polling station. It's a blind box when it's carried somewhere. But otherwise, if you are given these breakdown totals at the polling station, then people, you have to tell me the new magic. I mean, there's no magic of BVR in China, Japan that I know of. I can tell you how rigging occurs, but I don't see it.
All right. Saka, even more this will be free and fair if, like Mkomati said, which is swearing paper.
Mkoma says, I just wanted to address Mkoma Panisha Vataura. When you say you don't see how rigging will ever get, you are not talking about the end of the process. The rigging is about the actual physical ballots that happens. When those ballots become a number in binary terms, it's no longer relevant because you are now computing what has already been given to you. So the rigging will have occurred to Kudara. Rigging is about the actual ballots cast. So if they're going to stuff boxes or they're going to put their own agents to pretend to be agents of opposition parties, which is something I know ZANU PF has done before, and always does actually, that in areas that are remote and the opposition are contesting, they can have their own people volunteer to join the opposition. We may have seen crowds that were around Mr. Chamisa in the rural areas, and there were quite a few enthusiastic young men there jumping up and down. And those normally would be targets that will be there and volunteering to be agents. And when boxes are staffed, you've got a polling station that has got supposedly 5 opposition agents and also 5 ZANU PF agents, but they're all 10 ZANU PF agents. I hope you understand.
Well, then if, because I still don't see how that's possible, but if it is possible, then maybe it's advisable for the country to plant what I call investigative voters, people who have their voting roll, everybody knows who they are going to vote for, then look at those ballot papers specifically as we do in factories when you look at lots and defects and see if their vote is consistent with who they voted for, because that's crazy. I mean, I heard William Chinyanga, who calls himself a scientist, and yet he can't answer one simple scientific question, saying some period. Anyway, if that was I wrote a paper, by the way, and I published something on Facebook as well, very badly written, after November 2012, that if we are not comfortable with the elections, let's wait for a year and 2 years. And people said, oh, no, you want Mnangagwa to rule, we should have elections now. But, you know, this really upsets me, because I want to have a country that who wins, at least there's a moral feeling that some people voted for him, not that people are putting themselves into power. Like right now, I'm not happy with the system in ZANU and ZAP and MDC, where if I was an MP or a councillor, if I say something that they don't feel is right, they recall me. You know, that's wanting democracy and not wanting it. But anyway, I'm not running, so So that's it. I hope.
Can I say something about this?
Yes, yes.
But this goes back, this whole rigging, even at the ballot box and stuffing boxes. And you were saying that they should have a tally of voters, but this goes back to what we were saying weeks ago about how the opposition should have already had people going to the polling station tallying their numbers scientifically to know exactly how many people they have at every polling station voting. And then they would train election agents to be ready. But in 6 weeks, they still don't have that. They still don't have trained election agents.
Yeah, no, that's
and it's a very difficult terrain in Zimbabwe. And we've been saying even the parliament, reform, before it even started to Varwa. All these things that are relevant to actually winning an election in Zimbabwe are not scientifically done. And when we say this, until it's always too late. My question is, are these same people who say Nyararai going to be the same people who are going to now tell the Zimbabwean people the truth? When Zimbabwean people wake up in the morning in shock, our way. Yes, we dropped the ball. We should have done this before. And then we should have done this. And we were told to do it. But we didn't do it. And we defended our not doing it. Up until the date of the election.
All right. We have heard that quite a lot. Actually, you've expressed that. Mark, go ahead.
Yeah, I hope ZANU loses because I'm passionate with the change that I hope we can do. But I hope we lose because I don't want them to win and be pointed as vote riggers again. I really, really hope we lose.
When you say we lose, what do you refer to as we?
ZANU. As ZANU PF.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. All right.
Can I just comment on what Mark is saying there? I think he seems to be contradicting himself. If you accept ZANU PF has the potential to rig the elections, and I am surprised if you have been following elections, that you still dispute that. I think the vote rigging is an established fact. If ZANU PF is going to rig the elections, they are not going to lose them. You can't expect them to rig it and then expect them somehow that they will rig the vote and lose the elections. That is outrageous. If you read the article that Jonathan Moyo wrote and what Saleh has been saying there, I agree with that many other people have been saying the same thing on this site as well.
No.
ZANU PF is rigging elections, and this is how they've been doing it. I think it's not rocket science to understand how ZANU PF has been rigging elections.
Comrade, I agree with you. I agree with everything you're saying. My point is, if we still think ZANU is rigging and can rig, then we really are on the wrong foot. Because I am thinking we are clean now. Things are clean. I was at MDC a few months ago, right? I came back to ZANU because that's my party, right? But I am saying if you think ZANU is still rigging, I'm really sad because I think things are clean. I would like to say things are clean because it's really bothering me right now.
Iwe mariko regarding ZANU inobirira my elections. There is no question about that. It's how they do it. Those are total out of zero. I go out in my elections, ZANU inobirira my elections. They've been stealing elections time after time, election after election. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry, and if I say the ZANU is out, I'm a pagabiri kwap. But be that as it may, you are entitled to believe that it cannot happen with election because of GBVR. But in America, with the same system, which is even used for voting purposes, go. Akabiriwa ne same system yoyo computer produces the junk that you put in, or the reasonable information that you put in. Saka atini zvokuvhurira kuti computer iyi haigoni kuishandisa kubirira, inobirira.
Let me correct you. Go anakubirwa necomputer. Go akabirwa nepaper ranga risiri. They couldn't tell if it was punched or not punched. It was a punch, a hole punch.
Drive for punched nay.
Ne puncher.
Nechimunwe.
When you press the yes thing, there's a mechanical puncher which punches, but just like a paper printer.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, computers do make mistakes. I know that.
So ngatibvumirane kuti kana pane chance kuti a computer can be manipulated, ikati ichita zvimwe zviya zvavanoti spam, ichitumidzira ma information kuvanhu vausingambozivi, ichicollecta information yevanhu vausingambozivi vakakuwana sei. Kana ichikwanisa kuzviita izvozvo, inokwanisa kumanipulata futi kuti ibirire. So let's not.
What I'm saying, it's very easy to guard against that.
Well, it is not easy because it looks like it has been happening kwakawandisa.
Not with the ZANU. It's not easy with the ZANU anyway, because it's behind the scenes.
Even now, the war between America Parliament, my Democrats, Spencer, Russia computer America.
But that's a different case.
No, it is not. It's the same computer.
I was. Sekuru. The case I'm not sure what chakadirwa my brains around vaipuwa wrong information ne propaganda. Vanhu vakatovotera based on what information was given to them, which we still do ku Zimbabwe.
All right.
But UK company inonzi Oxford yakatoitwa wind up because nokuda kwokuti yakabvuma kuti yakabirira information.
Yes, and no information I use for propaganda. So that's
then, if they can do that into rigging yajes.
Okay.
Hi guys. So
DJ Sodza.
All right, guys. But you see, the problem is in and I get a bit suspect. I feel like I have to give them opportunity to speak. Yes. I need to hear from them. You want to?
Yeah, pane point is important. Yambota Sister Rose, Yema polling agents. We seem to be very late in a train of polling agents.
Yes.
I think that is a valid point. But let me say, good training your polling agents in it at the same time, my candidates. Sakayino made the nomination court so that those people, because through per nomination court. So from today, you find good training yema candidates, no polling agents will now start.
Oh, okay. So
regarding it's also
all right. One at a time, guys.
I'm going to tell Zimbabweans if they're not trained, because you guys have been raspberrying my Zimbabweans forever. So I'm going to be on you guys like white on rice.
That's fine. That's fine.
Okay, Sekuru
training is scheduled. I can assure you, training is scheduled. It's a matter.
In my question, Dr. Trangana Miriam, DJ, my question is, Power no atino sarudza kuita ma-agency ema-MP edu nechichi. Pane chinoadzivisa here kuti vatrainiwe before the election so that we have a pool of people vanotogara vakaziva system yacho ahead of the contestant wacho.
Ndopindura here DJ?
Yeah, pindura.
Yeah. Today, what happened is some of these people marry current polling agents, so they've been trained already, and but still they will go through the refresher training. And then, of course, you need to train more people. So that's how it works.
All right.
So, can I ask one last question?
Yeah.
Can I just ask why Chamisa has been telling reporters that there is no money to train agents?
Rosie, MDC haina mari zvachose. Inini pachangu as an individual, I got too many friends in MDC. Vamwe vari kundesta, vamwe vaida kukondesta, vamwe vari kunditumira tsamba after tsamba, tibetserewo nedonation tsamba after tsamba, and hakuna mari zvachose zvokuti kana une mari muzukuru uchikwanisa kubatsira.
I already helped for a long time because whenever the MDC was nonsense.
Can I add something in
So I have helped in the past, and some of those people who have come back to me asking for money.
Can I add something? Yes, Sodza.
Yeah.
Yes. Normally, with any political parties, whether to the Western world, Britain, USA, etc., etc., Mario campaign, I know to donate either Nema members or Nema war wishers. So there's nothing wrong in soliciting for donations. However, people need to understand with the current situation in Zimbabwe is dire in terms of the economy. And I think this is where we are starting. Kana makamba na jivara shama riva na jishani, what more a political party is not generate any profit. It's not my business. Of course, it is acceptable. I accept that. But any other than ZANU PF, because ZANU PF imba vazwa luta, and they've been having donations from China. We know of late Equatorial Guinea. Although the constitution says that no political party must receive money from outside the country. Yet it took on as ZANU PF fund Wadeji outside, which is actually in breach of their own of the national constitution. But anyway, what you are saying is let's support MDC. This is the main opposition. Sorry? So what we are saying is this, it is true that Mariga is hard to come by Zimbabwe. And the end revolution, to support NEMA members, people of that country, and let us support the party.
Okay. I haven't heard from Salina Mkoma Benford for a while. Anyone wants to chip in and ask about the riggings always? Okay.
What I can say is, kana sekuru achiti vanhu vese vakabva kuZANU PF, no one knows how it was done. Then vaita conclusion yokuti it could mean kuti vaiziva zverigging vachiriko kuZANU, and I agree with that. It's a possible conclusion, but you can also conclude kuti it means kuti hakuna rigging yacho. Kana pasina unoziva nezvayo kuti inoitwa sei, maybe hakuna. That's a possibility. Okay. Now, tiri pa polling station, problem yatinaita, most of you have, I don't think kuti makambo opened a polling station and you have never been there as an observer. My political parties, okay, they nominate their own agents. Then you also have a non-partisan agent. So agent MDC yakasarudzwa nevanhu MDC kana vasingazivi members avo, like what teacher was saying, kuti you end up with the 5 people vachiclaima kuti my agent MDC but vari veZANU PF. Then it's the problem of the party.
That will never happen.
Okay, so MDC inofanira kunge ichiziva members ayo vayakatraina ivo who will be representing MDC. Before I open up,
I think
let me finish.
Sorry, Sorry to interrupt you. Mira, sorry to interrupt you. I think you misunderstood what Teach said. Teach says, pane infiltration inoitika kuma rural areas. Yokuti, ma agents anozoshandiswa ne-MDC anenge ari maspy ezanu, but vachipretenda kuva ma-MDC members. That can happen. Infiltration inoitika.
Why can't that be in reverse as well?
It is.
So it's a matter of games now. It's a matter of games now. So let me finish what I was saying. Okay. Before polling agent, they are open. My boxes ese, they are verified. My agents are nengarimu. So just take it. And they know my box mangani. You have the right to verify. Amuna chunu. Then my kupinza the first person my box up. And my agents, even my election siku, you sleep where the box is. Wakari gaja. That's what agents are trained for. Kuti usasia box. They take turns in the bathroom. Ramba uripone box rako. Wana MTC the last time pandaka ngandichi Monte election. Right one owns that calf distributors so that they don't even leave. Except to kinda go rest room panika bachone moon. So they were all make sure with the polling station guide. Now that leaves us with one option. Yakuma rural areas in terms of maybe the way ZANU PF is manipulated. That's the only realistic thing ZANU PF. But remember in one election, even when they were told you can't write. So that was this maybe that was the one way ZANU PF was using. But other than that, I totally agree with what Mr. Chagonda said. Once the polling agent issued to tally, voters raw. So apanama extra ballots because they should agree the maximum number in ballot box, they must spoil papers, never vote, everything should tally. Saga akura zagadaro. Lastly,
yeah, Bedford.
That would work if you have electro voting. Voting system is electronic, not electronic voting. It's manual voting.
Can we just comment on what you're saying, Bedford?
And that's why it stops.
Yeah, Bedford. Can somebody else comment what you have just said? What we are failing to understand is that vote rigging is not only done on the day of voting. For instance, one of the problems is the voters' roll itself. The voters' roll right now, one of the points that has been raised, and which the Fevena and Nasekuru they can confirm for you, is that in 2013, for instance, ZANU PF refused to issue a voters' roll until 2 days before the elections. The law says it should be issued at least a month before the voting day. It wasn't. And therefore, then a lot of people, when they turned up to vote, they found they were not in the voters' roll. That is part of the rigging. The fact that the voter registration this time round, was started very late. It should have started by January 2015 at the very latest. It only started in September last year. And at the end of the day, even ZEC acknowledged that they only managed to register 5.3 million instead of the targeted 7 million. So in other words, nearly 25% have already been denied the vote because there is no way you can register 7 million people, particularly with the system that they had in 5 months. That is not possible. So if that is part of the rigging, if you can't get your head around it, it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist.
Sorry, Robert, I'm not going to interfere. I was suggesting that nyaye voter rigging is a very broad subject. I would suggest maybe DJ Sodza after Yambo Peraga, tikatoita next week iriega. I've been involved. I've got a dose of every behind the scenes rigging mechanism because I've been involved several times. So we can share so that background my MPs yedu nema candidates nema polling agents nema Zimbabweans vachano voter, they've got certain hot spots to watch about.
About it. Okay, that's fine. Chirongwande Chedu, so we can arrange that. It looks like a lot of people have got all sorts of conspiracy about this vote rigging. I'm just worried with Sally. Are you asleep there?
No, I'm not. I'm knitting.
You're knitting.
Hey. While everybody's puffing themselves. How can I knit a jersey for kids? I say kuro. So if I knit a jersey for you and it's hot, you don't want the jersey?
No, don't.
Oh God, you have to do that in winter.
There's no use knitting it in winter, then by the time it's finished.
Right, this day, guys, I think we have to call it a day. It's been quite a lively,
and I wasn't able to say it.
I thought you're knitting day. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm knitting while everybody was waffling. Look, this vote rigging thing, this has been going on for years and years and years. But what my main contention is, until somebody takes it to court and makes it a court case, whether they win it or not, but there is something legal recorded that happened. It's all mythology. It's all mythology. Until there are hard legal facts to back it, we are just going to go round in circles. And that's what we keep doing for the last 38 years. And I tell you what, I am so dizzy. Okay? Now you people can all perform about vote rigging. But until there is something hard and factual, I'm jumping off the bandwagon. I seriously.
No, took it to court and it was proven that the election had been rigged.
Where?
It was proved.
When?
In 2005, I think it was 2005. Was it 2005? Yeah.
And nobody talks about it. I mean, I didn't even know about it.
Mwashita was actually, the election was annulled, a rerun was called, and Dongo won it.
Yeah, but it wasn't the big main election, was it?
No, it was a by-election what's the name of the place, man?
Harare South. It was the main election.
No, Chepambari. It was a by-election in the constituency adjacent to Kwambari.
Another thing I want to ask Tich and Sekuru. When the votes are being counted, are there people watching?
No, Sally.
Of course.
What happens is that the polling agents and polling officials all gather in the command room, in the command center, where the sealed ballot boxes are delivered from the polling stations, accompanied by the polling agent at the polling station and the polling officials and the police. They bring the box to the command center because the box will have the seals of every participant, and the seals are broken after being verified by the polling agents that the seals were not tampered, and then the seals are broken open for the vote counting.
Teach.
But that's it. The polling.
Wakapedzira kuita vote election muZimbabwe rini? You are lying. Votes anocountirwa papolling station.
Hold on, guys.
Can I add to that?
Finish.
Teach is lying.
No. Teach things have changed.
The 95. 1990, 95.
Okay, guys, all right. Okay, please hold on, guys. Mukoma Teach, can you finish? Then Mukoma Benford, you can say what you have to say.
Right. So, whatever happens, whether it's counted at the polling station or not, the point I'm making is every polling agent or political party or their agents have a seal on the box. And when they're transferred to the command center, they're under escort by all parties involved, the contestants, the polling officials, and the police, to ensure that the boxes are not rigged. You understand? All things being equal, that system should be adequate for a fair, honest result. But for what I told you, that in the remote areas, which is the majority of the polling stations, the opposition parties are not well represented across the country. They are not represented in urban areas. So the people that they appoint as their polling agents are generally local youngsters.
They are compromised.
Appoint who will have attended their meetings. That's where the problem comes, because then there is collusion.
Amen. Can I independent teach is wrong? At the moment, as soon as voting yapera, vakuto counter immediately. If a polling station and they post a mirror tissue, let me explain. Because you are misinforming the listeners. You are misinforming the listeners.
No, I'm not.
Vokaunda ma results. They post the results on the door of a polling station.
Correct.
Akasainwa nema polling agents, ema political parties. Mr. Elliot here, Wakameta contestant, can confirm if I'm lying or not.
Yeah, all right.
Correct.
But what happened is Zirukutaura teaching those Kudara, but the new constitution, the new rules have changed that. So
but
it's all done at the polling station now.
But that doesn't mean people cannot steal, because in stealing. Those are not our.
I think I concede that point in common. I think I concede that is a good point. I concede that particular point. But that's how PT made the result that time.
The problem is with what teacher was saying. It gives room. Your kids must have the ballots along the way for transport, parking a command center, which does not happen.
Regarding already so in 2008. My command center ya Sheraton Hotel. Changirai awina my elections. Army yakatora election materials. You see, and we say no one's get out. When my polling agents no one's get out. No bakwasara army kit. Anza yakapua papo zvanzi kurikuitwa verification process nezek. But there was no verification nezek because zeki yanga yadzingwa. Zeki yakatozodaidzwa kuti chidaidzira results ayatakupaya. So don't tell me kuti avabiririki because.
But Sekuruga, the irony of what you are saying, MDC does not need the data routing by command center. You should also be able to make materials and.
That's why they said they want 2008 in Koma Benford.
Why find out to choose that percentage yaka wina nayo ma specific figures ma numbers yacha kuti taka wina ne so much.
And
unozwa ere kuti mu constitution ya uri kutaura ibo mu electoral act it's a criminal offense for anybody to announce my results other than Nizek.
Ayo Aseguru.
Yeah, but zvinenge chizikaro.
Can I just weigh in? Nyaya iripo ndeyokuti MDC tinoita ma command center edu. Let me tell you, this is the fact. At a constituency level, MDC will have a command center. Yes. At a national level, MDC will have a command center. We've got our own way of tallying. That's a fact. And that's what we did 2013, and that is what we will do these coming elections as well. So apart from this is what we find good, including 2008, those are not going to be here are the results. So we have got our own command center apart from ZEG's command center. But
Elliot, guys, can I ask you a question?
Yeah. Sorry, please hold. What I'm going to do, right? This could go on and on and on. I know I've got other issues here that I have to go, guys. So what we'll do is next week or the week after, if nothing comes up this coming week, we want to talk about this rigging. To occupy 2 hours so that you can ask and ask and ask and ask and ask and tell the nation how these votes are being rigged and what is the procedure and process that that happens there. It is really 7 minutes after midnight now, and we have to end here. And thank you so much for being with us tonight. We will be back next week without fail. And please do remind me, because it seems a lot of people have got a lot of questions and they've got a lot of answers about this vote rigging ikuitika mu Zimbabwe and nemakaunti
Elliot, please can you stay? I need to ask you a question, please.
Maybe I do respect you. Respect Radio Empire. Say what's on your miaka. Nenda nimbirabye. Nabangambye kabasajja wange nayoterino. Echinja nalifunye munjuki. Sabazenga ntandikonganye bagamba. Ugoba musajja munoleka muzina kuse. Sajjukidde ekyo mama. Omwana w'abandi yandaluddono. Alina byakola. Omusaba ansana kulifa. Ndogolyawo fane question.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of entertainment. Now stop messing about.
You're the one in a million trillion. Baby, only can get the papa. Baby, and I'm getting Anga yang genze. The papa, baby, and Anga yang genze. Oh mama, Mbewuliranga mwenyumya mbuno munkwana. Mbere wange ne mbawuliranga mwesoma mbuno mumanyi. N'amawulire ne mugakulisanga mulaga mumwe munina. Siganye kale mumanyi. Nayona mmanyi in and out. Nze siganye mwandabako. Nayona mmanyi in and out. Baby nkusaba ogume. Bino byebogere bijisiba amatu. Wano buli mwabeera ne history we. Nawe kitwale nti ebyo ye history wange. Mama wamande kanti agwasunda amata. Mufuna oli alina omujaja. Wamande kanti agwatema ennyama. Mufuna oli alina ebbuga. Oh, bakutuma entemu. Kati olese kiralo baby. Naye lwaki otuddugalisa wano. Mwana wonyiza labayo baby wabgesho. Hey, buli kagenze papa baby. Anga yangenze. Buli kagenze papa baby. Anga yangenze. Oh mama, Jona. Wanumvawo nawe sirinda byabali. Yonyani akalengedde. Baby ekiroto kyange nga mu makago mwentudde. Nga ndaba ku baana baffe tibawola enzadde. Oneerabise ennaku mubbo wadde omutembadde. Hey, tebakutiisa bambi wano waffe wootudde. Waggulu ng'empungu bbanga gyontadde. Tolinga bano abatoto wakitiibwe tabafaanana musowani mwe balina. Buli kagenze papa ordinary day.